Happening now, a high-speed chase through parts of Chautauqua County ending in a crash. What we know next. Plus, hear the results of a local fundraiser that went above and beyond their goals this winter.
Well, we have some peekaboo sun out there right now, but yeah, those temperatures really go downhill for the next couple of days. We'll talk about it next. The News at Noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Justin Gould. We start with breaking news. The driver of a vehicle from a stolen Jamestown car dealership is now in police custody following a pursuit this morning. Chautauqua County Sheriff Jim Quattrone confirming to us the suspect was taken into custody just after 11:20. According to police dispatch reports, the chase ended with the driver struck a police vehicle at the Ripley toll barriers on I-90. The pursuit started after the vehicle was stolen from a Jamestown Kia dealership earlier today. Sources say officers investigating gave pursuit after finding the suspect vehicles at their grandmother's house in the northern part of the county. The chase then continued through northern Chautauqua County with the suspect eventually driving the wrong way, fleeing south in the in the westbound lane of I-86 towards the New York State-Pennsylvania line. Several police departments were involved in the chase. Reports indicated spike strips were deployed. However, the vehicle avoided the stopping mechanisms. New York State troopers assisted the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office with the pursuit. It's unclear if anyone was injured as a result of that collision. This, of course, a developing story which will continue to provide updates at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Well, the number of COVID-19 related deaths in Chautauqua County continues to rise. This is leaders reported 11 deaths linked to the virus yesterday. The Chautauqua County Health Department's COVID-19 dashboard says the deaths involved residents above the age of 60. The health department says most of the deaths are from nursing homes reported this month. This is in addition to 23 deaths reported last week. Officials say COVID-19 cases in long-term care facilities are monitored and managed by the New York State Department of Health, and deaths in those facilities are not generally reported to the county. And officials say the update reflects reports they have obtained directly from those facilities. Now, since the pandemic started, 88 deaths connected to COVID-19 have been reported in the county. The county also reported 38 new cases of the virus yesterday, with 406 active and 40 people hospitalized. The 7-day average percent positivity rate is down 7.5% from 8.2%. Well, major developments in the battle against COVID-19. As Melissa Rainey reports, President Biden announcing he's increasing vaccine supply to make sure adults are vaccinated, hopefully by the end of the summer.
A boost to America's vaccination effort.
The end goal is to beat COVID-19. And the way we do that is to get more people vaccinated.
On Tuesday, President Biden announcing the U.S. is buying 200 million more COVID-19 vaccine doses, raising supply to a level his administration says is needed to fully vaccinate 300 million Americans by the end of this summer or early fall.
We will increase overall weekly vaccination distributions to states, tribes, and territories from 8.6 million doses to a minimum of 10 million doses.
While getting her second dose of the coronavirus shot, Vice President Harris on Tuesday urged people to get the vaccine when it becomes available to them.
It is really pretty painless, and it will save your life.
Meanwhile, new international travel rules now in effect. Travelers coming into the U.S. must provide a negative test within 3 days of even getting on the plane. The Biden administration raising restrictions on travelers coming from the UK, much of Europe and Brazil, and now South Africa because of the new coronavirus strains.
This isn't the time to be lifting restrictions on international travel.
Back here at home, new insight into the safety of in-person learning. A new CDC study finds minimal COVID-19 spread is possible if schools take the right precautions.
And what they found was that the incidence was lower in the schools than in the surrounding community.
I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
Melissa, thank you. President Biden says the 200 million COVID-19 vaccine doses ordered would be divided evenly between Pfizer and Moderna. Ellicott police are asking for your help in locating a vehicle that they say was involved in a hit-and-run motor vehicle accident last week in front of Starbucks on Fairmount Avenue. Police say the accident occurred around 6:20 Thursday. The suspect vehicle is described as white or silver, a newer Ford Escape with heavy front end damage and possible airbag deployment as well. Police said that the driver is likely a white male, possibly in his mid-30s. Anyone with information is asked to call their tip line or call the office directly at 716-665-7083. We have more information now at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of local news that matters to you. Let's check in with the comments and see what everyone's talking about this Wednesday. Good to see Kathleen, Nick, Brandon, Thomas, Stacy, Renee, Cindy, and Carl as well. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Now, let's get a check of our first defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us now with that. And Dakota, it looked like the sun was trying to peek out a little bit today.
Yes, we did. I mean, we had a little bit of peekaboo sun. We still have a little bit of peekaboo sun out there. But yeah, the clouds really are going to win out today. This is a live look over the Warren City Bank in downtown Warren and the snowfall accumulation there, along with a few peaks in the cloud cover as well. The radar, it's nice and quiet, and it's going to get a break here, at least relatively, over the next few days. Not a whole lot of precipitation in the way, but the bigger story really is going to be the colder air. 24 is where we sit right now as a noon hour, 25 in Mayville, 27 Harbor Creek, 26 Fredonia, and 28 over in Dunkirk, 24 Randolph, 21 Olean. So temperatures really are not going to budge too much from there, and temperatures even go down much further than that as well. We topped out at 35 degrees yesterday. Here we go with the forecast. Lots of clouds around, an isolated flurry possible through the day. Colder, but with a light wind, 22 to 29. But we are keeping our eyes on tomorrow and Friday. Both of those days, Arctic cold comes in and wind chills could be sub-zero for a time. We'll talk about it in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. New York regulators cleared the way yesterday for lottery players in order to scratch off tickets on their phones as the state looks to mobile technology to increase gambling revenue. The state's Gaming Commission approved a rule to allow companies to purchase and deliver instant scratch-off tickets for customers. The maker of an app that recently began taking orders for New York's lottery drawings like Mega Millions and Lotto hopes to start offering instant tickets within months. The expansion worries some operators of stores that sell lottery tickets, though. But the head of the company offering the lottery app in New York and more than a dozen of other states say it's attracting new, younger players to the game. The move comes as Governor Andrew Cuomo and state lawmakers consider proposals to authorize mobile sports betting here in New York. The governor also has proposed allowing more locations to offer quick draw games and to allow for 2-day Take 5 games. Well, New York Senator George Borrello, along with members of the State Senate Republican Conference, unveiled a package of legislation yesterday with the goal to help reset New York's restaurant and hospitality industry. Borrello says the COVID-19 pandemic has presented unique challenges for all New Yorkers and crippled the economy. In particular, though, restaurants and hospitality businesses are feeling the pain most. The senator says the damage is due in large part to decisions made by New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo and his staff.
As a restaurant owner myself, it has been both heartbreaking and frustrating to see the incalculable damage being done to this industry. To see restaurants around my district, including many landmarks, that have closed their doors for good. That same scenario has played out throughout New York State. In fact, I'm told it's Restaurant Week in New York City right now. Normally a great way to not only put a boost to our economy, but to highlight some of the great institutions. And that has been absolutely shuttered by not the pandemic, but by bad policy.
Borrello says that there are also Democrats in the Senate who realize the legislation is necessary and who could likely support it moving forward. Next here, we tell you what Jamestown Mayor has planned for the upcoming year. But first, after months of waiting for the go-ahead on high-risk youth sports, can now soon resume here locally. That and more as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Sorry about that. No, I've been staying at my dad's place because of everything.
Where are we going?
He's good. Yeah, I know, we keep missing each other. I've been working out of my dad's house, doing some reading. I should be working out more. I just feel like I'm drowning.
Navigating these times can be tough, but while you care for your loved one, you also need to care for yourself. Go to aarp.org/caregiving for free mental health and self-help tips.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm. And real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Well, starting next month, high-risk youth sports will be allowed to resume play in Chautauqua County. The county health department announced its decision last night following discussions among health officials. Last week, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo updated the state's policy on banning play, now leaving it up to local governments. Starting February 1, non-professional and non-collegiate sports such as wrestling, ice hockey, basketball, contact lacrosse, and volleyball can now resume individual and group training competitions and tournaments. However, teams must follow state guidelines, with indoor facilities limiting their capacity to no more than 50% occupancy and a maximum of 2 spectators per player. In addition, leaders say protocols like social distancing, use of face coverings, and enhanced protocols must be followed. There is also guidelines for those who test positive for COVID-19. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist says despite the circumstances of 2020, there were plenty of accomplishments here in the city. Sundquist delivered his State of the City address to the council this week, one that detailed what goals could considered a grim set of circumstances in 2021. The mayor, however, says there's plenty for the city to be proud of.
My focus this upcoming year is to get Jamestown to rebuild, rebound, and adapt. I'm proud of my team of passionate and talented individuals that have accomplished so much this year. I'm pleased to see our City Council working together to get things done, despite the massive challenges the pandemic has thrown in our way. But I am most humbled by the work our community has done to come together and fight COVID-19.
He says the increase of transparency, along with improvements with the city's technology, were 2 of the biggest accomplishments of last year. The impeachment trial for President Donald Trump is scheduled to start February 9th. Trump is accused of inciting a mob to storm the U.S. Capitol to prevent the affirmation of Joe Biden's victory in this 2020 election. However, as John Lawrence explains, the twice impeached president is far from the only person dealing with legal fallout from that day.
It's been 3 weeks since the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Since then, at least 150 people have been federally charged, according to court records and announcements from the Department of Justice.
We are closely looking at evidence related to the sedition charges. Those are the more significant. You're talking 20-year felonies. With enhancements, you're looking at significant time in federal prison.
Authorities have used hundreds of grand jury subpoenas and search warrants in this unparalleled, ongoing probe.
American people deserve to know how the attack happened, who was responsible for the siege.
The siege on the Capitol led House Democrats and 10 House Republicans to vote to impeach then-President Donald Trump, accusing him of encouraging the riot.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
The attorney for Jacob Chansley, the infamous QAnon shaman, says Trump was a major influence on his client.
He loved Trump, every word. He listened to him. He felt like he was answering the call of our president.
The Oregon Republican Party is backing Trump, issuing a formal condemnation of the House Republicans who voted for impeachment. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. The FBI is now offering up $75,000 for assistance in finding who planted pipe bombs found outside of the Republican and Democratic Party headquarters during the riot. Well, grab a fork. You'll need one to truly enjoy the day because it's National Chocolate Cake Day. And the perfect excuse to dig into a slice of the sweet, fudgy treat. Chocolate cake hasn't been around as long as you might think, though. While eating and drinking chocolate has been popular for thousands of years, it didn't become a bakery staple until much later. The first American recipe for chocolate cake wasn't published until 1847. Of course, nowadays, chocolate cake is one of the most beloved varieties, so bake up your own recipe or grab a box to help make it easy. And don't forget that frosting. And you can share your concoction on social media using the hashtag #ChocolateCakeDay. Dakota, they always put these stories in right before we have to eat, and because of the governor's remarks today, we are a little behind, so I'm hungrier than I normally am.
Lunch is delayed.
Yeah.
We're hungry. My
So that we don't
stomach
have-
is gurgling over
Yeah,
here.
no, I mean, like, in all reality, like, I eat at, like, God, it's what, 7, a little before 7 most days, and
I don't eat
I'm
breakfast.
starving.
I don't have time.
So you must be really hungry.
Yes, I don't eat breakfast because I am one of these people that likes to sleep until the very last minute.
And then you get up and you come in, and you're
Yes,
like, yeah.
and it's like, I just don't have time to eat breakfast, so it has to go out the window.
Yeah. Well,
Same thing with sleep. I
they
don't get much
say
sleep. But out
breakfast
the
is
window
the
it
most
goes.
important meal of the day.
Well, you find me a way to squeeze in breakfast while I'm getting dressed and whatnot. And
You could always bring your breakfast here, right? Why not?
Yeah,
I don't have an objection
but-
to that, as long as you share.
Yeah, but you see, in a way that wouldn't make sense.
No, because you're already at work. You're in you're moving forward. It's
Right.
not like you want to have a banana, coffee, and a yogurt.
Well, I
or
don't eat a
something.
banana anyway, so bananas are nasty.
Okay, well, I love bananas. They're great. My yellow saviors. Let's check in with the comments. Good to see Brandon, Thomas, Stacy, Renee. Cindy says she's getting weather now to the high 60s and 70s, and right now it's into the 30s. So, yeah, it definitely is feeling cold, not just here, Dakota, but a lot of places. I mean, it is, what, end of January? February?
Yes.
It's coming?
Yes,
Here
it is the end of January, and I mean, we should be cold this time of the year. Wanted to start off with this graphic that we created because we had a little bit of some sleet yesterday along with some freezing rain. So what happened with this? Why was there ice? Well, it doesn't have to do with just the temperatures down at the ground where we are. It's way upstairs where the clouds are, and we had the warm air forcing in. So again, same thing we told you yesterday, we were stuck between the warm air rising and the colder air down at the ground. So the precipitation fell, the cold air, obviously, when it fell, it started to freeze on contact. So that left a little bit of ice out there yesterday. And the good news is we should be done with the ice for today. Let's take a look at the snowfall through the month. And what you see are the days that are highlighted that have the T on it, means that that's where we had a trace of snowfall. All the days in blue are days where we've had snowfall, and we've only had just a little more than a foot of snow this month. That's down over 14 inches for the month. That's where we should be as we run right now. So let's take a look at the Arctic air. It's going to come in and crash the party. Look at this, 17 tomorrow, 18 on Friday, a measly 20 on Saturday. And this is that Arctic air, and this is something we have been hinting about pretty much throughout the month. We talked about by the end of the month, we were likely going to see pieces of Arctic air. Now, this is the future wind chill values. This is the air temperature plus the wind combined together, the real field temperature. So just before sunrise tomorrow morning, everybody should be in the single digits. We may even see sub-zero readings in some of the colder pockets further out to the east. As we go through the day tomorrow, the wind chill is still going to remain a problem through the day tomorrow, and then ultimately the wind chill will become at least a little bit better. Satellite and radar composite again shows you we have the rain and snow across the area, some tornado warnings down across Florida as well. Calm winds, no wind out there, 24 degrees as we stand right now, and we'll take you through the zone forecast today. Temperatures, we're going to be stuck down in the 20s all day today. A flurry from time to time and much colder, but I think we'll take 26. Compared to what's coming up on the next 7 days of your life, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, and a 17, just a biting cold wind chill Thursday and Friday. You're going to need the layers. Saturday morning, we'll start in the single digits, and again, temperatures will stay relatively below average as we head into next month. We'll take a break and be right back. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smoking deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Finally here today, over $1.23 million was raised this year's United Way of Southern Chautauqua County's campaign, during a time when the group's executive director says the need is greater than ever. Executive Director Amy Roller tells us the money raised will help 28 local agencies run 43 programs. Now, in a normal year, the services would impact around 23,000 people in need. However, she says this year the need may be more due to shortfalls created by the pandemic.
Given, the people who've been impacted economically, there's been an increased need, for example, for Meals on Wheels with seniors. Food pantries are being visited more often. People are out of work. So I'm not sure what next year is going to look like, but I know that, these funds are going to go where they're needed most.
The director says each year 60 volunteers meet to determine what programs receive funding based on the greatest need at the time. The fundraising campaign started back in September and ran through this month. Roller enrolled the help of former campaign chairs, saying COVID-19's health concern had changed a lot, but one thing seemed to remain the same: the connection between people.
In spite of the tools that you use to be able to raise money, it really is about relationships. It's about conversations with people. It's about, taking the time to talk about where their dollars and their charitable contribution has been. And I'll bet you that 100 years ago, that was the same.
The group started back in 1920 as the Jamestown Community Chest, kicking off their first campaign after residents banded together to help neighbors struggling amid the Spanish flu pandemic. Roller says in the end, she thanks all volunteers, donors, and most of all, the community for making their 100-plus years of service possible. Certainly great to see. Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. Absolutely incredible that 100 years of service capping off with a huge donation. Dakota, I spent probably about 20 minutes speaking with Ms. Roller via Zoom this morning, and she was so excited yesterday to announce that the $1 million that they've raised. And you think about it, she said going into this year, they weren't sure what was going to happen. They assumed that maybe there wouldn't be as much of a give from the community. However, they really banded together and worked really hard. And she thanks that group of volunteers and pretty much anybody who gave, because it does mean a lot. And going into this year and into next year, she says the need's probably going to stay high like it is, and you don't know what it will look like. So it's incredible to see.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I think kind of looking forward, and I mean, you know, kind of the same thing that you just mentioned is talking about, like, you know, I think in the upcoming months and especially in the next year or so looking forward, I mean, there is a lot of impact that COVID has had on us, not just the good things that teaches us, you know, certain things, but it's the horrible things.
Right.
And there's going to be a lot of people that even after we, you know, get through the vaccination phase and whatnot, there's still going to be a lot of repercussions from the pandemic. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to need help.
Right.
And so, you know, the places like the United Way who can help the people of the community who are struggling, that is definitely, I think one of the greatest things we have is the fact that we have organizations based here that will help families, you know, no matter what it is, whether it's, you know, the YMCA with the stuff that they do, the YWCA, you know, all of the non-for-profit organizations
during
here.
Christmas, the list goes on. And I think one thing to note is from covering non-for-profits here locally, the money that you give in a lot of cases doubles. And the sense that you give money, which generally helps volunteers give more of their time. You look at the soup kitchen, for example, right? It's not like they're paying these volunteers to make the meals. They come in and they make the meals, but they need someone to purchase the meals. So
my brother
it really does incredible work.
My brother on Thanksgiving, or was it on Christmas? They didn't do it this year because of COVID.
Yeah.
But in the years prior to COVID, my brother would take his family down to the soup kitchen and help out on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Serving the meals and whatnot.
Oh my gosh, it makes such a difference. It really does. And it teaches your nieces and nephews so much in that this is what our community is, and I think that's one of the real great reasons why this area is so great. I mean, we could talk about it all day. We really could. Good to see Stephanie. Good to see Butch, Mo, Elena, and Linda. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. And of course, you can check out the United Way of Southern Chautauqua County at their website or on Facebook. We have more information on our website as well. And you think about it, they started in a pandemic, Dakota. This year, there's been a lot of entrepreneurs who have started amid this pandemic to find new services. So we'll see how much longer that those things like that will go on. But it really is great. Transitioning real quick because the weather is going to be real interesting over the next couple of days. I know you mentioned it's going to be getting a lot chillier.
Yes, it will be, and it's going to start tonight. Look at the overnight lows, 10 to 16. Wind chill values by the morning will likely range 5 below in the deepest valleys to about 9 above near the Lake Erie shoreline. A few scattered snow showers, but they should not accumulate. But layers needed next couple days, Justin.
Certainly, Dakota. Thank you. We'll leave you with this live look over Lakewood. You see the Wally World, and as Dakota mentioned, a little bit of that sunshine trying to make its way through the clouds. Of course, if you missed anything we talked about, it's easy to rewatch the broadcast here on Facebook Live or anytime at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. If you download the app, it's absolutely free. You can subscribe to breaking news push notifications. We'll keep you in the know whenever anything new happens. Of course, we're back tomorrow. Hope to see you then.